Hello, friends. Thanks for keeping it cozy with us on Binary Breakers monthly breakout. This is the first one of these, the cozy edition for a lazy Sunday afternoon where we keep it fun, we keep it chill, and we show off everyone's favorite cozy runs. We have finished refueling our tractors, re-sharpening our equipment, and we are ready to take it back out to the farm with the Glitchless seated community center restoration of Stardew Valley with our friend Zachary20XX. Let's get back out to the farm.
All right, perfect. Now this time, maybe we've got live video feed. We'll see how that goes. Hey, I'm seeing stuff moving. Perfect. All right, so a quick rundown of what I was attempting to explain with no video input. Shout out tech team. We've got our farmer set up. We've named ourselves. We've named the farm. We've picked our favorite thing, which is being cozy today. We're cookie gender instead of money gender this time around. Gender's weird like that in the valley. We've picked a cool dog. We're going to be playing on the forest farm. We need that for some forageables. We're going to skip the intro. You only really need to watch the intro in a couple different runs, either for glitch runs where you're trying to inject things when people say your name, or if you're doing my cursed idea of all cutscenes in Stardew, which no one has taken me up on yet. We've remixed the community center. This is a seeded run, so we'll know what all the different things we've got to put into the community center are. We don't really care about the mines rewards or the profit margin. We'll just leave that normal. We do get a few starting cabins and separate them out across the farm. Gives us a good place to sleep if we need somewhere to get out of the farm from a different exit. I have set our random world seed. And we are actually not using legacy randomization. If you've watched any of the 1.6 update runs, a lot of times people will be using that. We are specifically leaving it off to set up some of our money making with how some of our crops work, and we'll get into that later. The general overview of what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be trying to rebuild the community center. It's a gathering place in town that is everyone kind of goes to and hangs out at, but it's old and run down, and we're going to help repair it with the help of some little aliens called the Junimos. So I'll try and explain a little bit more about what that means, but for the first little bit of the run, as I start getting some setup done and trying to stare at places I should put crops, know that most of the stuff I'm grabbing is either stuff we'll directly donate to the community center or to make us money. Those are our two big things. So, with that, I am ready on a countdown whenever we're all good to go.
You got it. Let's get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
And we are off when the file starts. So, to get cozy, charge up our cozy energy, we're going to sleep through the first day. Don't need to do anything the first day. Second day, we're going to do a little bit of decorating. We're going to grab all of our stuff. And it just feels a little cluttered in here, not very cozy. We're going to get the bed right next to the door, get the TV there just in case we need it. And
That's
we're
how
going
I
to
lived in college.
Yeah, just quick access, in, out, TV's right there, right by the bed, right by the door. We don't need all that extra space. So we're going to make our grandpa proud. We inherited this farm from him after working a soulless job for the Joja Corporation.
And
And we're
Grandpa having it named Breaker's Farm.
yeah.
Very base move.
Shout out Breaker's Farm, Grandpa, you're the best. Thank you. And then we're just gonna plant some, or prep some spots to plant things in just a truly extremely normal way. Just how you would set up your farm normally when you're doing a casual playthrough.
Ah, yes. Following principles of ancient Sumerian farming.
Yeah,
Definitely
of course.
maximum crop response here. I can tell.
It's gonna get us some really good harvests, is the long and short of that. We're also gonna chop up 50 wood because we need to build a chest because we don't have a lot of space in our backpack. This also will help us clear out some debris. We'll need this whole area cleared out later, so this is a good start. Gonna make a chest quick. Slam that down, throw some extra stuff we don't need in there. Plant one of our parsnips and check the mail. The mail that we just checked there is one letter to start out with on the second day. Doesn't appear until the start of the second day. and that is to go meet Willie, who gives us a fishing rod. So what we're going to do before any of the shops open at 9 a.m. is we're going to go meet Willie for, quote, 1.6 reasons. On the latest update, if you meet Willie and then you don't get your first fishing level, he shows up in about a month and he'll hand you a training rod and an extra fishing level that you get to level up with. And that just makes all of the fishing situation a little bit easier. Once we round this corner and he can no longer see us, we don't really need the bamboo pole. We're only going to be using the training rod for this. We're going to buy all the rest of the fish from the traveling cart, which is going to be one of our big things that we do in a seeded run like this, because we know when everything's going to appear in the traveling cart. So we can skip some of the harder items, like all the hard fish. Catching hard fish, not cozy. Fishing in general, pretty cozy, I would say, but I don't want to catch a puffer fish on a cozy day, you know?
Jazz seeds. I didn't know this was that kind of shop.
Yeah. Look,
or is that not a? I was gonna say, is that not a coded phrase for something else?
It's really not. It's a type of flower, blue jazz. So things we've gotten here. We have some spring crops and we've got some flowers, and we're just gonna plant these along here. Most of them, besides the potatoes, it doesn't really matter where we plant them. Potatoes, we are gonna plant just like this. Throw the green bean there, and that's our first day out and about. We've got our potatoes planted. We're having fun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame this farmer at all. That's about as much farming as I'd be good for before my back started complaining at me. So
exactly, you're gonna love
seems perfectly
next,
normal
like,
to
10
me.
days. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna water these every day. On the third day of any new file, it always rains, so we skip that. We just slept through it. Everything was watered for us. A new update on seeded runs on the latest version is now the rain days on the mainland here are all seeded as well. So we actually know when it's going to rain, and that means that I know we're going to have to water every day until all this stuff is done.
Chad agreeing with the ideas to go back to sleep when it's raining and to go to sleep at 10 a.m. They are both very cozy ideas.
We're back to bed if it's raining. That's not my problem.
That's
anymore.
a mood from me.
The thing we saw yesterday, I grabbed some carrot seeds out of the ground. And we've planted those because that is another spring crop that we need. But those are called raccoon seeds. Every season, the little raccoons around the valley provide a seasonal seed in spring. It happens to be carrots. So we're going to grab one of those. We'll need that for the community center. So we're just going to keep watering along here. We'll see some of our crops will start being grown. Our parsnips already grown. We'll just leave that there for now. We'll collect them all on the same day. So while I'm doing some watering, basic objective of the run, like I said, is to donate a bunch of items to our little alien friends, the Junimos, to complete the community center. So what that means is there's about 6, I'm going to call them rooms. They're not really necessarily rooms. One's a bulletin board, one's a fish tank. But they each have different sets of items that are related to the various aspects of the game. So there's a crafts room where you get forageable items, and you donate all those there for all the different seasons and some exotic foraging items. There's a pantry where you donate crops, fish tank where, as you might expect, you donate fish, and then a few more of those. Oh, that's fine. So we're just going to grab a whole bunch of potatoes. Since we planted those so normal style, we actually got 15 potatoes out of those 3 potato seeds. That's going to help us with the money. And then tomorrow we're going to go out, and we left some of the potatoes as well as the other crops. And oh, wow, look at all these potatoes. Again, just completely normal style. We're going to put away the things that we need to donate to the community center, a potato, and then one each of those. We actually don't need the parsnip. We're growing the parsnip because there is a quest that you start off the game with where it wants you to grow 1 parsnip and you get $100 for it. We love that. So we dump all those in the shipping bin for money. We're going to sleep through 1 more day. And then it is the day of the Egg Festival. We will be going to the Egg Festival. Sadly, we will not be participating in the Egg Festival, though. We will not be racing Abigail to see if we can grab more eggs from her in the egg hunt. We're just gonna show up, buy 20 strawberries, and get out of there. But that doesn't start until 9 a.m. So we're gonna prep some spots to put strawberries. And
Chat would
again,
like you to know you're doing an excellent job watering the crops and talking at the same time.
it's I was a little worried about that as I've been practicing that this week. I'm like, I do a lot of staring at diagrams during this run, so we'll see how that goes.
No, only fair. And hey, if you are up for it, you don't have to do this now. Obviously, you're doing a lot of strategy discussion, but I have one optional task for you.
Ooh, okay.
I have played a decent number of games like this. I've played lots of OG Harvest Moon, some Rune Factory. I own Stardew Valley. I have played very little Stardew Valley. In extra downtime during the run, sell me on playing Stardew Valley, either casually or speedruns.
Let's start with the latter of which on those on speedruns. I feel like that's easy sell because like even playing casually, a lot of the aspects that I like about the game end up being the things that are also good about the speedruns, which is things like there's a lot of just kind of weird, intricate systems that this game has that I really enjoy. You know, various crops or foraging or going to the mines. We actually won't see really any of the standard mines during this run, but that can be a really fun area where you gather resources and you go fight different creatures that are there. I think a lot of those are pretty standard as far as your Harvest Moons and your Rune Factory goes. I have not actually played any of those. Stardew Valley has really been my only farming sim game, so I'm trying to think of the specifics of it that would be enjoyable.
Sure. I've encouraged, and I knew that the people in chat would be in cozy gremlin mode, screaming about mayo. I am well familiar.
People demand drinking mayo, and unfortunately, we will not be doing this. We're just hanging out.
I mean, frankly, if I were trying to raise money to save a community center, I would consider paying admission to have people watch me drink a lot of mayo. But
yeah, streamer style where you do a bad thing to yourself to get people.
If that's not built into the game as a way to raise money, I understand.
Yeah, really like classic 90s comedy style. You'd think we'd be doing a bake sale or something to be saving the community center, but instead we just gotta get a bunch of items for aliens. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the part where you mentioned aliens was the first thing that threw me off. I've watched some speedruns of this, and maybe that one has just like escaped my brain in previous runs of heck, even this category. But yeah, when you said aliens, I'm like, wait a second, what?
You will see them running around the community center a little bit. Unfortunately, we will be skipping the cutscenes where it explains a lot of those. I'll try and go over some of those details. The next real major day that we go out and about, we will get the community center cutscene and start doing the stuff of the actual run. Of course, right now the Egg Festival's done, but we had such a nice day. We're gonna go hang out on the beach. Go, you know, I guess not quite watch the sunset. It's too late. It's past that. It's 10:40 p.m. But we just don't want this day to end. We're gonna go just see what's going on down here. And wow, wouldn't you know it? We have 4 out of the 5 items we need, and all the ones you can collect off the ground for the Crab Hop bundle, just right here on the beach. What a beautiful night. And then we're just going to pass out. We will lose a little bit of money from this. We'll lose 10% of our funds. And if we didn't level up today, but we did from chopping down trees, we would wake up with an energy deficit. But we're mostly fine with those. It's one of the main techniques in Stardew speedrunning. You can just pass out.
We went to sleep at 10 a.m. on a previous day. I feel like we should have, you know, the whole discussion about the idea of sleep deficits. We actually had a sleep surplus up to that point. We should have been allowed to stay up to 11 p.m.
Our cozy meter was off the charts. We're
right.
Fine.
Maybe I just don't understand the sleep economy in Stardew Valley.
It's strange. There's all kinds of weird systems underlying it. Most of them you don't get to see. But yeah, if you, much like in real life, I assume, if you ever level up one of your skills overnight, you do wake up with a full energy bar no matter what.
Oh, wow. I must not have leveled up anything in quite a few years.
Or maybe it
That's
was just on a,
unfortunate to
well,
know.
the last few levels definitely take a little bit longer than the early
Yeah,
ones.
yeah. I'd like to think
Um,
life is a process of continuously leveling up various skills that could grasp your interest, especially for those of us who are a little neuro-spicy and get hyper-fixated on certain kinds of things, but who am I to say?
and then we get the dog. We can skip the dog cutscene now in the latest version of the game, so we don't have to deny getting the pet, which was faster in earlier versions, which is just nice, because now we get our good friend Vlad hanging around. Look at him, what a
Yay.
good boy. And we have one more day of hand watering strawberries, and then we're gonna, this whole run's gonna open up to us when we harvest those. Because then we can stop hand watering strawberries. We're gonna go get ourselves some sprinklers.
That absolutely popping off for Vlad, hanging out in the background there.
We love Vlad. Even
So
better, we're
I've
about to
heard.
have a rainy day here. We can go put Vlad just like real quick. It's not even that much time loss. We are going to grab some of the foraging I mentioned earlier. We'll need this for the crafts room. And it's perfect day. The forage kind of builds up across the week on the places outside of the farm. So on Saturday is the place where there's the most forageables hanging around out and about. Since it's seeded, we know where all those are going to be at. So on this particular Saturday, we go grab the last two things we don't have. The other two we grabbed on the Egg Festival day. So spring forage is done. And look at that. Those last few rain days got us some strawberries. We're gonna grab all these, and we got another day out and about actually doing some stuff. In the meantime, though, we're gonna clear some debris, and we're gonna get some more wood. We're gonna need a second scarecrow later on once we get into summer. We've got the fiber and the piece of coal that we need for that, but the thing we don't have is 50 wood. So it's kind of front-loaded at the beginning of the run to chop down a bunch of trees for a couple different reasons. We've got time. The community center cutscene that introduces us to that doesn't show up. We can't trigger that until, oh, that's my bad. Sorry about that. Until 9 a.m. So we are going to. I accidentally delete that scarecrow when I messed up the video window. Who's to say? So while we're waiting for the community center cutscene, we're gonna do one last bit of foraging over here on the left side of the farm. This is actually fully random, so we're just hoping for the best right here. But we did get a morel. Perfect. It's pretty likely, but you know, it is a live showcase. Things can happen. Alright, so now I'm gonna chop down one last tree. We're running just a little bit late. Let's do this a little more normal style. Put all those away. Put the scarecrow away. And then we're going to grab some stuff to actually take up to the community center for the first time. So what we've got on us right now is spring forage. It'll go to the craft room. One exotic forage for the craft room, which is that morel we just got. 2 flowers that are going to go to the garden bundle in the pantry. Uh, and then we've got all these strawberries, and we're just going to pop into Pierre's and sell those for money. So right now, we just skipped through the cutscene where we were introduced to the community center. Like I said, that's where you meet these little Junimos, little alien friends. And Lewis tells you all about the community center, how it's all old and run down, and you notice them in the background of the cutscene. Just throw this stuff on the ground. The place is a little run down, so it's fine. We touched that plaque. We found out we can't actually read the Junimos text. We don't know what their language is, so we're gonna have to solve that problem later. For now, we know we need to donate all this stuff, so we'll leave it here. And as long as we don't have to exit the file and like reload a day or anything, it will just stay on the ground there for our play session.
Okay, so you've posited so far that these are aliens. What I'm watching happen here is that we are dropping various valuable but otherwise mundane items onto the ground, and they're going to pick them up, carry them somewhere else, and do something special with them. In my
They
mind, that makes them
yeah,
more like Pikmin. Is
they
that
are a
fair to
little
say?
Pikmin-esque. They're kind of forest spirit like as well. Um, it's a little hard to tell, but they do mention going back to like their quote unquote realm, I think is the word they use.
Hmm,
So hard to
interesting.
say. They're from not this plane at the very
Fair,
least.
fair.
So we just skipped through a nice cutscene down there where we learned about some foraging stuff that we already know here in the real life about what happens in game. And this is our first time meeting the traveling merchant. She comes over here with her cute pig and a fez, and she sells you random stuff every day. The thing we want here, since we know what's in here, is we're gonna grab 5 sprinklers. This is my favorite thing to do in a seeded run, is figure out where there's sprinklers early in the game, make just enough money, and buy sprinklers so you can stop hand watering. Then you don't have to go to the mines and craft them or anything. It's just easier across the board.
It is fair to say that money has a tendency to make things easier, even if the things
Yeah,
that you need to do to make money aren't usually this cozy and straightforward.
yeah. The gardening aspect of this game, our 20 strawberries really got us a pretty nice setup, all things considered.
I mean, I would pay on some days I would pay an unreasonable amount for 20 strawberries. I get it.
Mhm. So now that we got sprinklers down, we can just sleep. This is maybe the most important tech in Stardew speedruns, is just sleeping to let stuff happen.
Ah, I'm feeling cozier already.
It's finally time to get cozy. We're out and about too many days. It was getting a little hectic there.
So yeah, you definitely had a lot you had to remember in the first section of the run here. I if it's fair to say that this is kind of the end of the opening portion of the run.
Yeah,
How do
absolutely.
you keep on top of that kind of stuff? Do you have a routing list that you like keep handy when you are running to remind you about things?
Mhm.
Do you do the thing that some runners do where you write the tech that you're supposed to be doing as your split name in live split? What helps you keep on track of everything?
A little bit of both. I sometimes do funny, goofy, silly names in live split as well, but enough descriptive enough that I can remember what they are. Uh, but yeah, I definitely have a route up on this, especially with this seeded run. Having to plant crops in certain spots
Mm,
can really, you got to have some reference images. I theoretically could memorize it all, but that would be pretty tough, I would say.
okay, so you mentioned specific positions. Beyond just making it
Mhm.
easier for the sprinklers, are there additional benefits to having the plots of land for crops where they are right now?
Yeah, actually. So the strawberries, not so much. Those are just in position for the sprinklers.
Okay.
But when we get around to summer first, I forgot to read my mail. That is an important part of this day. Um, because we need a note from the wizard. So as far as where we're planting crops, we'll see tomorrow in game. I'm going to set up a bunch of 3x3 grids for placing melons. And what that's going to do is we're going to grow giant crops. There's like a random chance every day, but in seeded runs, we know where they'll show up. And if you have a 3x3 grid where the top left of a specific type of crop that can grow into a giant crop in a specific spot, and it is fully grown and watered, even if it's fully grown and doesn't need water anymore, you do still need the crop to be watered. It'll turn into a giant crop overnight, and you get like 15 to 21, I think is about the range, 14 to 21 crops when you chop it open with your axe. And we're going to be using that for money to kind of scale that up. So we'll see that tomorrow. Right now, I went back and read my mail. Because we went and read that plaque for the Junimos, figured out we couldn't read the text. The wizard somehow knows about that, and he sends us a letter, and he's like, "Hey, I hear that you met the Junimos in the community center. Swing on by. I'll mix you up a potion that will teach you how to speak the language of the forest spirits." It's a real shame we don't get to see that cutscene. It's very silly. Um, got here a little late, so we missed out on the bubbles. Slow us down a little bit on fishing, but it's all good. Right now,
Yes,
this
the
is just
peaceful farming community's resident wizard that makes potions.
yeah, of course.
I see
If you need
there's
anything,
perhaps a bit more to this game. Not that I didn't already know there was more to
yeah.
this game than there is in the average farming, foraging, building game, but still, just hearing things like that, that'll pull your brain aside if you haven't played a bunch of this game.
Mhm. Yeah. I do have that question about some of the other like farming sims you were saying pitch you on this. Do they have a wizard? Any sort of magical presences? I think
I
some of
mean,
them might.
Rune Factory, you could definitely say
Rune
does
Factory
because it
definitely,
has a
yeah.
fully featured combat system that has both melee combat and in some cases, at least in some of the entry spells. But yeah, a farming wizard isn't necessarily the kind of thing you'd expect. Not to say that it's at all unwelcome.
Mhm. All right. So yeah, today we're gonna see me doing somehow even weirder crop setup. Like I said, we're setting up for giant crops. And let me grab you. So I'm gonna grab all my sprinklers, clear out just a little bit of debris, we'll scythe through these dead plants, and get set up to grow giant melons is our goal here. So like I said, I've got a reference image up here on the side because truly would not be able to remember all of these locations. I'm getting there. I like kind of have a faint recollection on which ones happen on which days, but you do this about 4 times throughout this run, and it gets a little hard to remember which one is for which. It's kind of
I
a
guess
real problem.
chat does mention that some Bokujo Monogatari, that is the season, the series that was Harvest Moon and is now Story of Seasons, do feature a witch.
Ah, I don't know. See, I thought some of that came from some of those earlier games for sure.
Yeah, for sure. There have definitely been entries into those series, especially once you got into the spin-offs that were specifically focused on being more out there, that have had more either anime or fantasy inspired elements. You know, it's been a progression. You're not wrong to think so.
And that's our crop setup for the first half of summer. We're gonna throw 2 scarecrows out because we kind of had to spread everything out a little bit. But those 3x3 grids are all for the giant crops that we're gonna be growing. And then the other space in that bottom right, just the one that's the big block there, it's just gonna be for wheat. Wheat has a random chance of dropping hay as well. So we've got that in a convenient position that across those 20 wheat that we're going to plant, we're going to get 10 hay out of them as well, because we need to donate both wheat and hay to one of the bundles. And now we're finally going to interact with the community center for real. So we've learned how to speak the Junimos language, and now we're going to start donating stuff to them so that they will help us fix up this place. Again, how they do that with various different plants and forageables, not quite sure how that works. Maybe it just makes them happy. One just sprung out of the pile of stuff I left there. So we donated all of our spring forage. We're going to donate 1 morale just to get it in place. And now we're going to move about during cutscenes that you're usually not supposed to. This is the part where I say glitchless, by the way, because this is like maybe bordering on a glitch, but it is allowed in glitchless runs. We use the animation canceling that you see to go back and answer the age-old question, hey, how are you chopping so fast? You can cancel out of animations when they have already interacted, like hitting a tree with your axe. and then you don't have to see the end of the animation. That also works here when you're in the middle of those community center cutscenes. It just gives you freedom to move about. It was a debug tool left into the game to get out of places where you get soft blocked a little bit like that, and so we take advantage of it that way. And now we're going to grab our various different things we're going to grow in summer. I believe that's all of them. I guess I don't need to grab that today. We've got melons that we're going to grow into giant melons. The rest of these are all things that we need to donate to the community center. So they're either summer crops bundle, the wheat and the hay will be for something on the bulletin board. Marnie, who has a little ranch south of town. We ran by it, but we don't really interact with her in this run. She wants some wheat, some hay, and some apples. So we'll grab those for her. The bulletin board ones are kind of for specific NPCs, again, that we don't really meet in this run. You know, we meet the wizard, we kind of see Willy a little bit. That's about it.
Yeah, naturally, you know, I don't know that I'm speaking to anybody who can hear my voice right now who doesn't already know a lot about Stardew, but these sorts of games also, in the modern era, live and die on dating sim style systems, and in this particular run, we're not going to be associating with virtually anybody except the Junimos, it sounds like.
Yeah, pretty much. We're a lonely little farmer who's going to save the town without really.
We've got things to do.
Yeah, somebody's got to save the town.
We've got us, we've got our dog, and we've got the community center.
Absolutely. So we are finally getting into like a section where we sleep a bit. We sleep through like half of summer, like 2 weeks straight. Very cozy. There is an earthquake.
Well, the idea has been floated to date the Junimos, and now I'm not sure if that's cozy or not. I
yeah,
suppose
I don't
that's
know
everyone's personal decision.
I think it probably exists in mods. You can at least become like BFFs with one of the Junimos named Apples, I believe, in one of the popular mods. So yeah, you get the best part of the speed run when you're actually running the in-game music. The hearing like the brief second startup every single day of the music, right before you go back to sleep, and it resets it. And one last sleep day. And now we go see the spoils of our setup. So like I said, we grew those into giant melons. Pretty fun. That's actually when I mentioned earlier why we don't use the legacy randomization. Legacy randomization for giant crops is kind of interesting, where it like is in a diagonal from top right to bottom left that kind of marches across the screen. Whereas you see here, they're kind of in just random locations. That makes it a little bit easier to find easier configurations on any given seed. Is kind of part of why I in particular chose to go with non-legacy RNG. So we've gotten our 87 melons from the 45 that we bought, and then we're gonna shuffle them all around, do the whole thing again. We are scaling our money finally.
I was gonna say 1.8 melons per melon is a pretty good return.
A pretty good return, yeah. We get 9, and I'm shooting for like 18 to 21 essentially on the upper end of how many you can get for each. Sometimes you can get them in these nice convenient areas. The other thing, I didn't grab it yet, we're going to grab it today when we run up to the community center, is we got some speed grow for donating the spring crops bundle, and we will use that. It gives us a couple extra days where these can potentially spawn. Just makes things a little bit easier so we can get more of them across, you know, the little half a season, where most of the season things are not grown yet, so they can't turn into giant crops. So that'll help us out a bit. We need to place down Scarecrow and another one down here. Buy the wheat in that spot. We left the corn. It still hasn't grown up yet. But actually, I think we have everything we need in our inventory. So we're going to do another community center turn in. It's 8:30. Shops don't open until 9. We're going to pop back into Pierre's, buy more melons, buy an apple sapling. As I mentioned, we need 3 apples for our good friend Marnie. And by good friend, I mean we will never meet her. But she does request it on the bulletin board. So we pop in here. We mostly, almost exclusively have stuff for the pantry. We've got some crops. So we're going to turn in the other 2 garden bundle items. And that gives us a quality sprinkler, which we love. We'll be able to scale up just a tiny bit more. Get an extra crop in there. And then we're going to take one of these blueberries. Once this pops open, that goes in the dye bundle just to make sure I don't accidentally delete it. I always like to make sure I donate it this day. A thing I would never do. I would never misplace an item in a community center speedrun. Neither seeded nor unseeded. And then we're going to check the trash at George's house today and see what kind of luck it is. Unfortunately, higher daily luck than we'd like, so we got cookies instead of a quartz. We're going to have to back that up later. A normal thing to know about what's going on.
Yep, that was an extremely average and normal sentence that you just spoke into existence.
Yeah. Speaking of, like, how do I remember certain things about the run, this is labeled George's Bad Luck Day in my splits.
I see.
Because if it is, like, below a certain daily luck threshold, you get a quartz there, which we'll use. If not, if it's above a certain luck threshold, you get a cookie. Technically, you can manipulate that based on the number of steps you've taken, but this late in the run, there's no way I'm not going to do that. You can't make me count my steps the entire run and or cancel all of them the entire run. So that's Demetrius. He showed up. We made enough money now that he has taken notice that we have a nice cave here on the farm, and he wants to take a look, see if he can monitor that, see what's going on there. Again, pretty normal style, I would say. He says, I can either monitor it for fruit bats or I can monitor it for growing mushrooms, and we pick fruit bats. That's pretty common in most speedruns. If you need it at all, you tend to need the fruit cave for community center items. Not that there's never a use for the mushroom cave, it's just less useful in speedruns typically. And we've got speed grow down on everything important. We grab some summer squash out of the ground. And then we are back to sleep. So we're going to sleep a couple days until the 19th. We're just going to skip over Green Rain. Don't need it. Don't need to care about it in this run. It is a little scary, but that's fine. That was a new addition to the game. It just, one day in summer every year, the rain comes down green and weird, and everyone gets real scared the first year. They all go hide out in various places. So today we're going to do 2 things. Sort of 3. We're going to grab the summer forage from the bus stop. Like I said, late in the week tends to be when the most forage is around town. So we get all 3 of the things we need for summer forage in this bus stop on this day. Perfect. We love it. And then we are going to cut through down to the bottom of the farm. I am going to grab the summer squash and the corn just in case, just so we have them. And we're going to do 2 things today. One, I'm going to take a peek at our pet rock, who is still intact. We love that. That'll come back later. Don't worry about that one bit. Again, completely normal. This rock in particular is always there at the starting spawn, this guy right here. Always spawns there when the file generates on Forest Farm, and ideally, it's the least annoying for me if it's still there on Fall 14th. Again, normal seeded run things. And here's where we're really getting into. We've made some money. We're finally going to start buying a bunch of stuff from the traveling cart. it's easier than playing the game and getting all these items. So we're just going to do that for as much stuff as we can.
You say easier. I mean, faster to be sure, but is it
Maybe
necessarily
not.
easier to know to do all of this stuff to manipulate your chances at giant melons and cookies and quartz out of trash cans? I'm not so sure.
Okay, you raise a fair point there, I suppose. It's maybe not easier. It is faster though.
And that's what matters. Definitely agree with you there.
Yeah, by comparison, this runs in the like hour 30 to hour 40 range, depending on how the luck treats us on the non-seeded things. And the world record for unseeded community center glitchless is like a 212, 214, something like that. So it's really nice skipping over a lot of stuff, especially those run on unremixed bundles since it's more consistent, which requires a lot of stuff like building a lot of barns and coops and things for the animals, which takes a lot of money, even more than we're getting.
Mm.
And one of the main things we need money for, we're seeing right now, is buying stuff, obviously. The other thing we need is, turns out the Junimos are not free of capitalism either. We do have to spend 42,500 gold to repair the vault across those 4 bundles in there. I don't know what they use the money for, but they do seem to need it.
Even in other realms, we can't be free of the burdens of capitalism.
No,
To be
unfortunately.
fair, they could just be like, it could be like shoe gnomes, where it's really just they like the shinies.
Mhm. True.
Don't pretend to know what goes on in the realm of the Junimo.
I don't like these twigs getting too close to my pet rocks. We're just going to clear those out real quick. The debris can spread and overtake other debris, and like I said, most convenient if that particular rock is there on a day I already go out. We can get around it. I've got some other screenshots of where it moves around. We already got one of each of those, so we'll just leave them. I'm going to dump all this stuff into the chest, and we'll just go back to sleep until fall first. Now, you might be thinking, hey, there's melons out there. You can't just sleep to fall first. They're all going to die because they're out of season. Which would be true if they wouldn't have all turned into giant melons by this point. Giant melons do not die over season transitions, so we can just leave them there. However, our summer squash did, so we made sure to pick one of those. Grab all this wheat and hay. 93 more melons. There we go. And now I need to scroll down to my next reference image.
Oh boy, we're really getting into it now. Time to put your tinfoil hat on, because chat's saying, because they're aliens and not mechanics, they have to pay for expertise, which led to the idea that the Junimo are actually subcontracting the same people that Joja Corp is subcontracting to do the mechanical work. And now I don't know what to
Yeah.
believe anymore.
Yeah, of course. That, you know what? Checks out. Why not? I like this headcanon. This is good. Again, none of us are free of the ills of capitalism.
That's fair. But it doesn't mean we can't be cozy about it.
It's true, yeah. That's something at least, right? I need it to be something at least. So today we are just setting up, again, our favorite thing in the world, giant crop spots. I'm going to set up a scarecrow there. We are going to do that. I'm going to clear my inventory real quick, grab the speed grow. I'm going to grab this rare seed that we bought from the traveling merchant earlier and place that down as well. The spot we're throwing that on is nice and convenient because it will be adjacent to where we're putting sprinklers, both here and on the 14th when we swap everything around. So that's pretty nice. I'm going to have to do some silly stuff with inventory space because I forgot to buy a backpack on the summer day we were out last. So, melons, we need summer squash, we need our summer forage, wheat and hay, periwinkle, and corn. Perfect. Bring our tool, at least 2 of the tools with us in case we need to get in the farm, get through rocks or trees or anything like that, but try to not keep those on us all the time. And we're gonna go donate a bunch of this stuff and or sell the remaining melons. So this is where we're finally going to get enough bundles completed that we have the whole community center unlocks. Each room unlocks with a certain number of completed bundles. So we, for instance, just completed all of summer foraging there. Have any other foraging to do? So we're going to pop up to the pantry, turn in a summer squash to complete that one. And we're going to turn in the corn a little early just to get it out of the way. Grab an extra sprinkler. We actually don't end up needing that one. We never have enough giant crop spots that we need, but it is kind of just nice to have as a backup. And we finished the crab pot bundle as well. Now we turn in, as I've mentioned, those 2 for the fodder bundle. We have an apple sapling growing already, so all good. We're on track for that one. In total, there are roughly, it changes with the different remixed options you can get, but there's about 100 distinct items you need to turn into the community center to complete everything. So we're doing a lot of just shuffling stuff up there. Finally remember to buy backpacks. We actually have an extra row of space. We can sell that. We're going to buy 100 pumpkins all at once, an eggplant, and an amaranth seed. And then now we're going to have to do things in kind of a weird order, a little backwards from how I normally like to do it because I didn't have the backpack. We're going to grab this blackberry for fall foraging, and then we're going to remember that we didn't bring our hoe with us, and then we're going to get real sad. But I'm going to check if the spot's here before I run back to the farm to get it. It is not there anyway, so we're gonna have to use a backup spot. This all worked out exactly as intended. We were looking for a broccoli seed spot. It looks kind of like this, but a little more green. Luckily, on the 9th day of every season, at this spot here that I'm circling with the mouse that we're about to run by, the raccoon seeds just always show up there no matter what. So, turns out we're gonna be using that one anyway. And like I said about getting trapped trying to get back into the farm, exactly that has happened. So we were happy to have our tools that were not our hoe on us. I do need to swap though. Grab those 2. So we'll plant the first half of our pumpkins. And we'll plant those other 2 crops there, just along the sprinkler. And perfect. We have 55 left. The correct number, parentheses, real. Not actually lying on that one or anything. And that should be it. So we go back to bed, of course. So we got our pumpkins and some of our other crops growing. That's all for either money or for fall crops bundle. We're going to sleep to the 6th and do a classic buck stop check to get 2 of the fall forage that we need. So we got a hazelnut right here and a bunch of plums all over the place everywhere. So we need those. So we got the blackberry, we need a hazelnut, and we need a wild plum. We also need a common mushroom, but those in fall spawn along the left side of the farm. So we're all good there, as well as there's a couple backup spots near the cart on days we go out. speaking of, we're back at it with buying things from the cart instead of playing the game. So I'm going to drop those off, and we're gonna run down yonder. The cart shows up on Fridays and Sundays, if I didn't mention that earlier. So we're always watching out for days like that we can head down there. I've gotten the geode cutscene. Unfortunate. I am going to panically clear out this weed that's going to try and attack my pet rock. Especially for marathon safety, I'm just going to take a little bit of extra time that I usually wouldn't, because I'm scaled. Like I said, we've got a backup common mushroom here as well, so we'll just grab that. And then we buy a couple things from the cart today. So we want to grab a star fruit, which is hard to get. We want to grab a green tea, also kind of annoying to get. And then we're going to grab a red fez, so that we match our friend, the pig that pulls the traveling cart. That's just a swag strat. It's a lot of money, but we end up over on money with how many pumpkins we make in fall, so it's just kind of nice. Just fun. Just cozy.
I would imagine having necessary or even superfluous amounts of money to buy fun things for yourself is quite cozy.
You need just a little treat, you know?
I've heard good things about it, yes.
Again, we're sleeping until the 12th, which is a Friday. We're popping back out and buying some more stuff. We're not quite into the deepest part of the run that I, in my splits, have labeled cart season, where we do that kind of nonstop for about an in-game month, pretty much any Friday and Sunday that comes up. But we'll have that for a bit, but it is pretty cozy. You also see, as I'm running around, I'm trying to grab any moss off of trees. Moss is a new item in the latest update. Let's see, I'm buying a wood skip and a juice. There's also a new bundle that you can get in remix bundles associated with it that we have. There's 4 potential items. The 3 we have in the forest bundle is 10 moss, 10 acorns, which I've got one down here. We've got a handful of others as well, and 10 maple seeds. The 4th item you can get in there is 200 fiber, which, while doable and not that slow, is pretty annoying. So happy to not have to do that. And then the 2 things we bought that day were a juice and a wood skip. The wood skip is for the specialty fish bundle in the fish tank, I believe is the name. It's all the kind of weird fish. And then the juice is for the brewer's bundle, as was the green tea that we bought a couple days back. We're gonna run out here. This is technically a safety strat. I'll show off the real strat, but like it has a real low % chance of failing later on. So we're just going to buy a safety wally right here. That's normally a fall fish that you can get, but it doesn't spawn until noon and only on rainy days. So we don't really want to stay out that late when we do fall fish. And by do fall fish, I mean catch exactly 3 fish for the whole run. So we need to then do a few more things. It's finally Pet Rock Day. Thank you for your service. And we get a frozen geode out of our pet rock. Little friend's been cooking that this whole time, and on this specific day, on that specific tile, you can get a frozen geode. That's actually a thing I think the wiki has maybe mislabeled. I believe it says that you can only get them during winter, or maybe starting winter of the first year. They actually start spawning like a couple days before this. Like, I want to say it's 60 days into after you've created the file. So you just need to know the spot that it happens at, or if all the backups fail, I go out every day, reset the day if we don't find one, which is pretty annoying.
See, well, I was going to ask if we were going to hollow out those pumpkins to make a carriage to ride up to the community center in, but apparently not.
No, that would be pretty nice though. You're right on that front. Fortunately, don't get a lot of speed boosts in this run. So we're gonna grab sprinklers. We're gonna grab speed grow. I think that's all the stuff that I'm looking for. So like I said, this is kind of a convenient spot. We can leave that rare seed growing there to get a sweet gemberry. And it'll just be nearby another sprinkler. We'll speed grow those. Ah, that's the thing I meant to grab out of the chest, which was pumpkin seeds. Probably need those. Need something to plant. And then we'll go here. You see me clearing out these spots nearby where I'm planting. Most likely it's just so that I don't actually hold down right click and plant stuff where I don't want to. Just make it a little easier on myself that way. Not, again, that I would ever misclick. Let's see, and then we need you there. Already harvested that, so that's all good. And then the other one goes like that. All right, and that is now the last planting we need to do. This will shore up the last of our money to get the vault and a few other things throughout the run, but we're pretty much good. I realized I did not go back out on the 9th to grab the broccoli seed, so we're going to go on a little bit of an adventure for this particular day. That scarecrow will be in a good spot there. We'll put this one down here. I'll start by checking the backwoods, the spot it normally spawns. I think it'll have despawned by now, but I'm not 100% sure if that's consistent on what day it despawns. Otherwise, we'll just do a loop around town real quick. So the guaranteed spot I mentioned on the 9th is here behind this, and it is still there. Funny thing just happened too on the "You've got some new ideas to sleep on." That's a new message added to the latest version of the game that lets you know that you got a level up. Another thing is one of the minor patch releases added in that whenever you till up artifact spots or those seed spots like that, you can get foraging XP. So I got a level up off of doing that, which is, I don't know, just kind of silly and new. I'm going to also do a little chest organization real quick. And we're going to take everything that's for the community center still, and we're going to throw it in that gold chest just to keep track of things a little more easily from here on out. We're gonna grab our tools again. Now that we've got no space, I'm just gonna keep all my tools on me. Because again, I'm scaled, I might need them. And there's my foraging level up. Me now sleep until the 21st.
Not me going to sleep with my wallet in my pocket and my car keys on me, just in case I oversleep for work.
Yeah. What if you need to burst out of here on fall 21st and go do some fishing?
God, maybe I should set up a cot over by the front door.
Yeah, cot by the front door, TV right by it so you can check the weather and the daily
pretty
luck.
much. Like, hey, I couldn't sleep well last night. Sorry, sweetie. I know I'm blocking the stairs. I didn't want to be late to work. You understand.
I gotta be so fast. All right. Our guaranteed rain on the 21st of fall has come through. Guaranteed on this seed, not on every seed. There are some days that always rain on every seed, but this is not one of them. I forgot to grab my training rod, so let's grab that real quick. So things we got to do today. It's Sunday, we got to go to the cart. We're even going to buy some fish that theoretically we could catch ourselves. Not going to do that. I'm going to grab these acorns on the way. We'd love to see that.
I'm just imagining you telling somebody who like fishes recreationally, Look, yeah, I know you could fish. I have everything necessary to do so. Here's my training rod right here, but I'm gonna go buy the fish instead. It's just easier.
Mhm.
Like, you're not
Look, no,
technically wrong.
I don't want to catch a sandfish. I got to go all the way to the desert for that. We don't even have the desert unlocked. Buy a pale ale, and then we're
I
gonna buy a
see.
roots platter. Roots platter, we don't need to turn to the community center. That's a secret for later that we'll see. Secret strats.
Nice, nice. Get that hook to keep him watching.
Hmm.
I like
Yeah,
it.
like the last thing besides buying one last item and running up to the community center to donate, we got a fun little strategy right at the end to keep him guessing. So right now we're playing the game. I guess I did say that these are the only three fish we catch in the run. We did catch the sunfish as well. Right now we're hoping to catch a chub before it hits 9 a.m. because then we can more easily guarantee it is a chub. Shads also start showing up at 9 a.m. in this location, so it just gets more annoying. Our chance of catching the thing we want goes down. Hey, this is a chub. Fish actually have pretty predictable patterns. A chub stays towards the bottom half for the most part and wiggles around like that.
As somebody who watches a lot of nature documentaries, I can confirm this is true.
Mhm.
Fish do generally have pretty predictable patterns.
Yeah, see, you get it. Predictable
This is
locations,
just
times of
art
day.
imitating life right here.
Yeah. A
Also,
real
you can
sad.
buy fish in real life at vendors who often sell
Yeah,
them out of carts.
yeah. You just go to the little local open air market and buy some fish.
Correct.
So now we're gonna run down here, and we're hoping to catch a sardine. There is actually another fish that we could potentially get here that we buy later, but if we catch that one, perfect, sure. I'm very bad at telling the ocean fish apart, though, so we'll see what these all end up being. Hey, sardine, perfect. The other one I was mentioning is the red snapper, also available at this time. But again, like I said, we just buy that from the card on a day we have to go out for other stuff anyway, so it doesn't really save or lose us any time.
All right, we've got
Now,
our
yeah,
single sardine. Now it's time to make a pizza, right? So we can put the
yeah, of
sardine on it.
course.
You want to
It
talk
would be
about
really funny if
if you
sardines.
want to talk about really contentious toppings for pizza.
Yeah, they should. Mr. Concerned Ape, can you please add sardine to the ingredients for cooking a pizza in this? Thank you.
Excellent.
Hope you're listening. Hope you're well. Um, and now the fish I mentioned we were avoiding earlier, the shad, that's the one we want to catch now. Ideally before noon. That wally we already got has an identical pattern to the shad, and it starts showing up at noon. And then it's just a really annoying 50-50 on catching those.
Ah, yes, Chad is correct. I'm a little too sleepy today. Maybe too cozy. That would be an anchovy, not a sardine.
Mhm. Fair enough.
Anchovy is
There
the
is
salted
anchovies
fish
at
that
that
goes on
spot as
pizza.
well.
Ah, well, there we go.
The other bluefish. What's cozier than this? A nice day fishing out in the rain on a nice bridge. Hey, there we are.
As long as you've got a
Perfect.
good way to dry your clothes after this.
We'll just sleep in the wet clothes. Actually, it'll be fine.
Okay, very good.
And that is the three fish we need to catch today. Got ourselves a chub, a shad, and a sardine, and we're back to bed. I see we're starting the lore that sardines on pizza is cozy. Which, like, sure, I can get behind that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, sardines are less like pungent and strong tasting, honestly, if anything. As long as you could prepare them properly, I feel like they'd probably go with more different kinds of pizza than anchovy. I'm not sure either would play well with pineapple, though. But don't quote me on that. Somebody's probably tried it.
I'm sure. All right, so now we're just closing out the season. We got a couple things to buy from the cart. We got to check the farm for mushrooms and grab all of our. This is a day I've got to go out. We got to grab all of our pumpkins and sell all of those, and then we get into the winter season where we do end up buying a whole lot of stuff from the cart. It's cold out. We only want to venture out if we absolutely have to during the winter, so um, we don't want to do a whole lot. Go buy some wine from the cart. We need that for the brewer's bundle. A funny thing that happens this run is, so the brewer's bundle, you get a reward of a keg that you can make all the items for the brewer's bundle with. So we buy all the stuff for that, get the keg, and then use the keg to make a different wine for a different bundle. We need 2 wines.
I feel like a lot of people would tell you that having 2 wines is very cozy.
Yeah. Grab this quick. We're gonna run down and, for once, not forget the pufferfish and the ice cream on this day that we need to go buy. They're a little out of season here at the end of fall, but I'm betting they're fine quality. The Junimals they'll be all good.
Ice cream and pufferfish, like chocolate and
Yeah.
peanut butter.
What centuries old combination we all know and love. I'm gonna clear out some of the stuff I don't need because we're gonna have to fight our way through here. Because we need to do a little mushroom report. This is when I run unseeded multiplayer CC. This is tends to be one of my jobs, depending on how we move stuff around. Is at the end of fall and the middle of fall to go over to the left side and do the mushroom report. We, in this particular run, ended up getting a pretty good selection. We needed 2 purple mushrooms, which we got, and 2 red mushrooms, which we got. I'm going to see if I can get a standard quality red mushroom, just to make inventory less annoying. Oh, okay. I've got one of everything. Perfect. I guess I'll just live with that. So, do mushroom report. We got everything we need. It's perfect. We're loving it. Oh, hey, another purple mushroom that doesn't want to get in my inventory because it's probably a different quality also. So let's dump all of these things that are for the community center in there. I'm actually going to get rid of one of the mushrooms just because I don't actually need those. Then I'm going to grab the pumpkins. You and these apples can go back into the community center chest. And then let's make a whole bunch of money. Why don't we? Did we already grab a broccoli? We did. Okay, cool. I don't need to grab those then. And then, extremely cozy style, we're just going to leave everything out. We're not going to clean up after ourselves. All these sprinklers and scarecrows can just hang out here. We never need them again. We're going to put away 1 pumpkin, so we need that for the community center. And we're going to sell those 204. I believe that is everything I need for this day. Perfect. Spam click through the sell screen. Look at all that money.
If I ever have a day where I need something more than 204 pumpkins, I want y'all to put some sense into me. I can't imagine needing anything more than I need 204 pumpkins.
It's an absurd number of pumpkins for sure. All right, so today we're going to make a drop off at the community center.
Welcome back to the current season. Anyone in a climate far enough north or south to be experiencing this is, well, that's why you're here staying cozy with us, right?
So fall forage, fall crops, purple and red mushrooms, and then anything else for the bulletin board. So grab those. Weirdly, that one fish is for the bulletin board. We're gonna leave. Actually, no, we won't leave one spot open. Let's just grab those apples. Then we're gonna head up to the community center, turn some stuff in, get some rewards out of there, have a fun day. Maybe rummage through the trash, see what we find. Smack the ground, just till up all over the place until we find a winter root and a snow yam while we're waiting for Clint's to open. No, let's just have some fun with it. Go play in the snow a little bit.
I did that earlier today, except the snow was melted, so it was ice, and by playing in it, I mean almost slipping in it on the way in and out of the house from getting groceries.
Official ruling, not that doesn't sound that cozy. I'm sorry.
No, not especially, but it was before we started, so I wasn't beholden to those
Uh,
rules.
fair enough. Get all your non-coziness out early.
Indeed.
Like I said, we're gonna turn in the brewer's bundle here. I've got fall crops as well. Perfect. Grab this keg, put it just right here. Should be good. Throw an apple in there. Let's make some apple wine. Why not? Nothing for enchanters. We do have 3 of the 4 things for field research. We can finish up the fodder bundle, get a couple things for the dye bundle, and 2 of the 3 things for the children's bundle. Then we'll come up here and we'll pay the Junimos. I think as we established, so that
Yes,
they
the
can
money bundles.
subcontract. Yeah, it's like some are fishing, some are foraging, some are crops, some are items for the mines. The one that's just money. And then we just stay until that cutscene finishes, so we don't soft lock ourselves. There's a slight chance you can there.
Okay.
Not ideal, I would say. Gonna grab this holly for winter foraging. Gonna head to the beach. That one last item we needed for Demetrius, who we did actually meet in this run. We're gonna do him a solid. He's haunting our cave with bats that are picking up fruit.
Oh, fruit
In
bats.
exchange,
Fruit
we'll get
bats are
him
cute.
a Nautilus shell.
Can I get ones
Here,
in chat for people who appreciate fruit bats? I think they are very cute and cozy.
it's cute and good. Right now is my least favorite part of running this on the new RNG instead of legacy RNG is the winter root and snow yam have a pattern to them on legacy RNG. So once you find one, you can just keep doing that, and it's easy to get one of each. On this, I just had to smack randomly until I got one of each. You see, I got 4 winter roots before I ever got the other one. Not ideal. Not my favorite. That's the other tech for Wally. There's like a couple % chance that doesn't have that, so we did the safety strat earlier. Again, instead of going to the mines, we're just going to buy this stuff directly from Clint. Then we're going to run back home while I check the list of things to do today, because there's a bunch of stuff, and maybe I forgot one. Who knows? See, run out in their cute little new winter outfits. This is another recent change to the major update. Everyone's all bundled up, except for me in apparently a t-shirt and shorts and a red fez. Really Midwest coded.
Or Canada, maybe. But yeah,
Yeah,
either way. The head covering's all you need, really.
yeah. Okay, we're gonna head up to the main farm. To grab some more acorns and maple seeds along the way. I think we're getting close on each of those. Winter's kind of nice because the trees will still drop them into the ground, but they won't pick them up. They won't grow up. So it's a convenient time to just kind of clean up that task. I'm going to put away everything that's not for the community center over here. Already donated one of you, Wally. We already have one in here. Cool. We're at 10 and 5. And then I'm going to grab stone. We're going to need that tomorrow. It looks like I probably did everything. So, sure. And that's our first bundle completed, was the vault, which lets us get to the desert. We're going to need to go to the desert a couple times, so that's kind of nice to have out of the way. Since we finally got some copper, a thing you would normally get for the first time in the mines instead of buying it, Clint shows up if we step outside, and he teaches us how to make a furnace. That, of course, we already knew about because we bought enough copper to make the furnace. We need to make one of each copper, iron, and gold bar. Though the gold bar we can actually get as a reward from one of the other bundles, so we don't actually make that one. We will eventually also need to make 5 refined quartz in the furnace, but since it was too good of a luck day when we tried to check that trash can, we don't have the quartz yet. We'll back that up. It'll be all good. Don't worry. I'm sleeping till the 13th, and we're gonna run to the desert. Now, there's 2 reasons we're running to the desert on this particular day. One, as I've mentioned before, it's Saturday, and that makes uh, getting forage a little nicer. And 2, it is the Squid Fest, which Pam is enthralled with. She's off somewhere else. We see this little sign. Hey, off duty today. You can just drive the bus yourself. So we'll do that. We can leave immediately instead of waiting for Pam to show up at like 9:30ish. And we're just gonna grab some stuff off the ground. We love grabbing forage off the ground. Get maybe 1 cactus, maybe 1 coconut, maybe another cactus. We need 1 cactus for the dye bundle. It's the green item for the dye bundle and the seed. And then we get the other cactus and a coconut for the exotic foraging bundle. So that should wrap that up. And then just right back to sleep. Like you said about having your keys on you, ready to go, you bolt out of bed, you drive to the desert, pick up some stuff, run right back. Asleep before 7 a.m.
It's also been pointed out through the chat that this is a game where you can both pet the dog and drive the bus, which truly one of the games of all time. How much more do you really need out of a game?
Exactly. All right, I'm gonna grab a couple things. So we're good on moss, we're good on acorns, but we do need maple seeds. So I'm gonna pull those with me so I can keep track of how many in total I need. Like this one. You can tell there's like the ever so slight difference between all the different seeds on the ground, so you can spot whether they're acorns or maple seeds or pine cones. You can tell by the way they are. Grab this crystal fruit for winter foraging, and then we're going to grab a tuna. Since we did get on mushrooms and we got our forage from the desert, we don't need the backup maple syrup that I've got marked for today. If you don't get 2 of each mushroom, you end up having to buy an extra thing for the exotic forage. The exotic item of maple syrup.
Which is an odd thing to say considering we've previously established that we are probably Canadian.
Yeah, look,
Well, with our choice of clothing.
For sure. It's hard to get our heads around what's exactly happening here in the valley. A place unstuck from geography, maybe time, who knows. It's now the ultra cozy part where we only go out on random days to go buy stuff from the traveling cart all winter and really through most of spring, if we're going to be honest. Fairly fast section, but it's, just a little silly.
You've mentioned the rest of winter, which is a handful more days, and then spring. How close does that put us to the end of the run?
We end the run on spring 26th. We're getting there. We'll grab a bullhead for one of the fishing bundles and a iridium bar for the dye bundle. So basically what's left in the run is through winter and about the first half of spring, we just do a handful of cart checks, buy some stuff, get the rest of the tree seeds we need for the forest bundle. We're doing great. On spring 16th, we got a big day out and about. We've got to clean up a bunch of random items at the start of the day, and then we're going to go to the desert for the Desert Festival. I mentioned earlier that we aren't going to the standard mines, but we are going to the Skull Caverns, the scarier versions of the mines. And that's probably going to be fine. We don't have a weapon on us, but we'll figure something out. We need to kill a couple monsters to get things for the boiler room. The Junimos apparently also demand violence because they want stuff that you get from killing monsters. So we got an iridium ore. That's also for the boiler room. And then we'll sleep until the 28th. We'll grab a rabbit's foot and a red snapper. We're certainly not going to buy a coop and then upgrade a coop twice. It's so much wood, so much stone, so much money. So we're just going to buy the rabbit's foot directly. Red snapper, I guess we could have caught. We could have caught it on accident on the fall fish day, honestly. But we didn't. So we'll just buy that one too. Mostly we're buying a lot of fish, honestly, through this section. Fishing
So
slow,
much money, says
and
the farmer with 20 large jingling around in their pants pockets as a slush fund.
Big spender, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, this is our out and about money. This isn't even like we already bought the vault. This is
True.
just all spending cash. We're hanging out now.
This is literally I'm helping fund Stardew Valley through the winter money.
Yeah. Get both of those. Helpful suggestion from underscore in chat to just get a rabbit's foot as a drop from the serpents in the skull caverns. We'll see. No guarantees on that. By no guarantees, I mean it hasn't happened to me accidentally yet in one of these, so if there were ever a time for it to happen, this would be the funniest one. I don't remember the drop chance on it. It's not great. The two things we were getting are near 100% chances. All right, we're sleeping the 7th. We're buying some fish. We're sleeping the 12th. We're buying 3 fish and an oak resin. 14th, we buy a ghost fish, and then we get to play the game again. We meet Kent. Unavoidable. He just shows up. He's been off at war, and on the first day you leave your farmhouse, I guess. Not necessarily the first day in total. First day you leave the farmhouse, starting in year 2, he shows up and introduces himself. He starts existing in the game then. So we're gonna get a catfish and a tilapia. Definitely don't want to catch a catfish in this run. You can manipulate the catfish and get it on your first try, the tutorial catch, where you can't fail it, which is kind of nice if you're at low level fishing, but it's still slow. You gotta fish until you get a catfish on the line. Not my favorite. Chat, is this cozy? Is this what you wanted out of cozy gaming?
Yep, knowing that weeds are causing damage to my farm is definitely very cozy for me.
Just haunting you, yeah. The farm is so overgrown. The season transition from winter into spring really does a number on the farm, as you can see. Yeah, it's all encroaching. I'm sure we all feel great about it. Right, so we're gonna buy 4 whole items today. We get a sturgeon, a tiger trout, an oak resin, and an eel. We already bought a pufferfish. Don't need that one. We're out long enough for you to hear the spring music a little bit. The oak resin is especially nice to get in the cart because the latest major version change, you have to get more foraging levels than before to be able to make a tree tapper and get oak resin out of an oak tree. So it kind of takes forever to, chop that many trees or whatever it is you want to do to get to foraging level 4. So again, easier if we just, show up to the cart on the right day. So here is our second to last cart purchase, maybe third to last, depending on Some info we'll find out on the 16th. We gotta check the Bat Cave, and it's gonna be chock full of random fruits, and we need at least one of those to be a pomegranate. Otherwise, we have to go out an extra day and get a backup for that.
I'm not gonna lie. One of the items in the cart was a blueberry tart, and I thought, oh man,
Ooh.
I could totally go for some Pop Tarts.
That does sound pretty good. Oh man.
All right, gamers, Pop Tarts, just straight out of the package, or do you heat them up first?
I'm personally a straight out of the package kind of person.
I've
Um,
definitely done both in my life. I do not judge.
so this is a real big day for us.
All right, you know what? There's
Do,
several people in chat who are just living better versions of life than some of us. We've got several people admitting they have never had a Pop Tart, and honestly, I respect it. Keep it that way.
that's so fair.
Oh! Several people now talking about freezing their Pop Tarts first.
I've
sure.
heard of the freezing the Pop Tarts. I don't think I've partaken though.
As we do. Any palms there?
No.
Okay.
Classic marathon luck. This is very explicitly why I looked for a specific backup and have it like in the route. There's a few things I'm like, I could just figure it out if it goes badly live, and this is not one of them, because it's basically just either buy an expensive tree and wait for it to grow and bear fruit in fall, which requires sleeping an extra month after the end of the run, which we don't want to do, or get lucky, I guess. Just sleep until the cave provides. Neither is my favorite. The best thing that can happen in a run is you get a lot of pomegranates early on, and then you can make pomegranate wine, which just kind of feels like a flex. It's like, I got so many of these. I can just do whatever I want. So the start of our day, we're going to grab everything we possibly can for the fish tank and the bulletin board. So I'm going to try and remember what all of the things are that go to each of those. We are going to grab the exotic forage, though, here for bulletin board. What am I missing? Am I missing anything? I don't think so. That looks good. We'll just call that there. We need to grab one more salmon berry. Perfect. We got a bush right there. You'll see on the second day of the Desert Festival, the 16th, is another one where Pam is off duty. I think she just goes to the Desert Festival and hangs out, if I remember correctly. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a clinic day for her. Either way, her schedule lines up that she's just like, hey kid, just drive the bus yourself again. So if we're fast, we can get there before she normally would show up. But really, it doesn't matter a ton because we've got a bunch of random stuff to do today. All right, didn't bring winter forage, did bring our 2 exotics. Very carefully not donate the oak resin as an exotic. We'll leave this wine here for now. What we want to do is donate for each of the bundles where we can help it, whole but one item or a few items, because overnight, if you've completed any of the entire rooms, you get an overnight cutscene. So ideally, we don't do any of that today. In this case, we haven't gotten a broom yet, so we still have that bundle undone. Bulletin board will be pretty close, but we won't turn in the wine intentionally. We got here pomegranates, that's right. But we'll finish most of those. We haven't touched the boiler room yet. So that's our whole inventory of stuff. One whole inventory turned in. We're pretty close on basically every room. It's whatever's left in our chest. A couple things we grabbed today. That pomegranate we're going to go buy from the cart instead of getting out of the bat cave. And then a bream that we're going to buy on the 26th, last day of the run. So we're going to run home real quick, grab our tools, and head for the scary skull caverns. As stated, I never bothered to get a weapon, so we're just gonna have to make do. We'll grab some food, maybe that'll help us out as we go fight the way harder monsters. The scythe will probably do fine. The scythe does 1 damage, I think, unless you crit, and then the monsters we're fighting are somewhere in the neighborhood of 100, 120 HP, so that's not great, so we're going to have to do something about that. That's just going to take significantly too long. You can kind of spam click with animation canceling to hurry that up, but we still don't love that. So what we're going to do is we go to this weird guy who does the weird hand motions, and we're going to specifically ask for these nachos that give us both a speed buff and an attack bonus. And then we're also going to eat this roots platter. Also gives us an attack bonus. We're going to be at +6 attack. We're now doing like 20 with just the scythe. Not even a weapon, just the scythe.
Okay, chat, I need to know. Does the Stardew cooking book have the recipe for desert nachos?
Oh, there we go. I bet it doesn't. These are like not real recipes, which is sad.
Oh, I want to make the desert nachos.
We're also spamming through that guy's little quiz, and we're gonna buy some mega bombs. We're gonna need those because one of the things we want to fight is a mummy. You can't actually directly kill a mummy unless you get a specific weapon enchant that we don't have. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna reset floor 1. We need to kill a serpent and a mummy. The other thing we want to be on the lookout for is either a standard quartz or a fire quartz, and those will just be lying on the ground. That's kind of our backup for not having gotten one out of the trash. Oh, that's a good noise. Did you spawn? Or are you lying to me? Okay. For sure was one of the spawn noises for the dragon serpent things to come flying in. Hey, there's 2 of them even. So yeah, we're doing about 20 HP instead of 1. So we love that. Should just be a small handful of hits on each of these. And we get our Void Essence. Normally, you'd have to go pretty deep in the regular mines to get any enemies with that. Instead, we do this thing where during the Desert Festival... Oh, I'm going to go out of my way for that quartz, actually. We can get into the Skull Caverns on the Desert Festival, even though not only have we not made it to the bottom of the mines to get to the key in here, we haven't even entered the mines. So this is kind of a fun little silly strat. I came up for this because I was coping pretty hard on not being able to find these, the Void Essence and Solar Essence we're getting today from the cart on any of the seeds I was trying to use, and I started getting desperate. Now we're looking for a mummy floor. We've got ourselves the Void Essence and the quartz. Hey, there's a fire quartz. Let's actually grab that. That'll be a little faster. You get a 3-for-1 on refined quartz if you put that in the smelter. And we're just going to keep doing this a bunch until we eventually, presumably, have to get a mummy floor. Hey, here we go. Nice. So there's ghosts and mummies on this style of floor. We only need the mummy, though. Oh, we need to eat. Streamer my health. So we'll see the mummy gets down to there, and we need to blow him up with an explosive to actually kill him. Hence the mega bombs. So now we got ourselves a Void Essence and a Solar Essence, which we need for the Adventurers bundle. And we also got our backup quartz, so we're loving it. Great day in the Scary Skull Caverns.
Yeah, very cozy. You know, exactly 5 minutes of adventuring in and out.
Yeah, just a nice normal time.
A very comfortable amount of adventuring.
I wouldn't want to do any more or less adventuring than that, that's for sure.
Definitely.
Let's grab some of that. And we'll deal with inventory later. So what we want to do is take you, throw you in the crystallarium. That'll duplicate our fire quartz. Won't the first day, but it'll be every day after that. The 21st, I do need to remember to go out for pomegranate. Of course, the alien shows up. That's seeded, so it always shows up this day. I always forget, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the alien noise, huh? So we'll see the alien in a bit, don't worry. Next time we pop outside. It's just a scary pod that's like kind of pulsating, I would say, is maybe the word. All right. Sleep one more day. We go on the 21st for a backup pomegranate. We're also going to do all of our inventorying for the rest of the run, get all the correct stuff on us. So we can put the coal away, and then we're going to grab everything out of here. Very slowly run through our extremely overgrown farm. We will grab a pomegranate. Nice and easy. We tried to play the game on that one at least. Like that's the RNG's fault. That's not me. I tried to do it the normal way.
I mean, chat has had rather a lot of suggestions about different ways you can and should be manipulating the RNG that I'm fairly certain are at least some of them are real and just high effort, and some of them might be patently false.
At least one of them is the suggestion to twiddle the social menu is the word we use for it, which is a task-only strat, and you can't even really do it as effectively on the latest version, where you pop open. I'll actually just show it when we go out on this next day real quick. You pop open this social menu, you go in here, and in older versions of the game, when you would spawn in there, it would run a bunch of RNG calls and you could advance it. So one of the task strats is to do that a bunch of times to get the RNG to line up where you want it before doing something. Specifically, it was a really fast way to make money in the mines because you could till and you could get strange dolls that way. They're a really rare drop, but if you're manipulating the RNG, who cares? And each of those strange dolls sells for 1,000, so just every time you till in the ground in the mines, you could just spawn up 1,000 G essentially while you're in there doing other stuff. It's a very fun but very hard to look at task strat because the menu backgrounds in 1.5 and earlier, it like darkens everything behind the menu, which really makes it flash the screen pretty bad. So we are coming up on the end of the run. We've got everything in our pockets, parentheses, hopefully. We just got to turn it all in. I've got to not forget to grab stuff out of some of the rewards. We've got to get to basically every room in here, but timing ends on a specific cutscene that'll say, like, the last bundle, farewell, Zachary, and I'll call that out as we get close. We're going to get some cutscenes overlapping here. Just truly in the most normal way possible. So we complete that room. Don't need anything out of there. We do this little hop. We've animation canceled out of it, so we just keep running around while that's all happening. I'm going to attempt to path out of there, but I can't remember. Not bad, actually, on that one. Grab the wine on our way by. Hope I end up at the fish tank to donate this bream. Pop by the bulletin board. Get that wine and that pomegranate. I need to get back in here. I need to grab this gold bar in this battery. I am hopefully where I think I am. Almost. And then here's the boiler room. And these are the last 3 items we donate. That's the last one. Timing has not ended yet, but we're going to get this one last like white screen that says the last bundle farewell. When that does a flash at the end of that, that's time. So in like 3 seconds here. Time.
GG. It's like about a 135.24.
Hey.
23.
Nice. If I hadn't beaten my own time last night, that would be real close.
Nice.
You'll see also because of the overlapping cutscenes, some of the rooms are not showing as finished, which is fun. We'll just go touch these to kind of show how that works. If you pop into the plaque, it'll trigger that again. We also have the nice keg in the bookshelf there. Just a funny little placement on that. It is good placement in that it can't be smashed through by the Junimos. They can path through stuff and break it, or at least could in earlier versions. I can't remember if that got fixed and they'll move around it now. But it's also just really funny that you put it in the bookshelf.
Very cool. Well, thank you for sharing this very cozy run with us today and for sending the Junimos back to the spirit world. That's
Yeah,
apparently
they've
the
returned
term
to
we
the
were
spirit
looking
world.
for this whole
Yeah,
time, the spirit world.
again.
A
Yeah.
very normal place to be from. Anything you'd like the folks to know about yourself, the Stardew crew, anything of that nature?
Yeah, quick shout outs. Obviously the whole Stardew community, great. Go check out anyone running speedruns or hop on the Discord. Particularly all the people who do like the seeded tech or task stuff. Blade underscore who's been in chat here. Piano Addict does a little bit of some of that stuff as well as challenge runs. Like all the scripting work that I use to find the seed for this to be able to route it. Appreciate everyone who's worked on that. Shout out to my friends in Elite Chat. It's one of our like routing and hangout areas in somebody's Discord. Uh, and then you can find me on Twitch at Zachary20XX. Zachary like my name, 20XX like the future sci-fi year of an unspecified time. I think that's it for me.
Excellent. Yeah, if you are in the Twitch chat, you can see that shout out to Zachary20XX. Click that name there and you'll get a link over to the channel. Drop them a follow. My name is Atitri, and you have been watching the cozy edition of the Breakout Binary Breakers regular, but not necessarily monthly, series of showcases. If you are interested in following me, I don't know why I don't stream that often, but maybe that will change someday. It's the same name as what you're seeing on your screen, Atitri, all one word. Or just come join speedrunning events, hang out, volunteer. That's where you're most likely to find me. With that all said, thank you very much again, Zachary. Thank you to all of our runners and volunteers for making today possible. There's going to be just a little bit more to our program where Midnight Coffees will be back to say hello and thank you for everything. So hang out and we'll have that ready for you in just a moment.